We have Motorhead by Arc System Works from BLAZBLUE Sound, Complete Box Calamity Trigger. I guess that's the video game name. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to analyze this and explain this in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that and you're watching this from the video archive, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, notifications, all that good stuff. Keep in mind, this is a live reaction. We're doing this live on stream. This is the first time I'm hearing this in my life, so I'm going to be pausing a lot so that I can explain things and point things out as I hear them. Let me open Paint before I forget. So, with that in mind, composer is Daisuke Ishiwatari. Let's do this. Let's go. Motorhead. Let's see what we got. YouTube. There we go. Okay, we start 10 seconds in. We have the bass doing a very nice funky line. This is what is called, in bass language, he's doing what is called slapping. Slapping is a very fun technique in the bass. There are two ways of doing a slap. One is to pretty much slap with your thumb, the string, and it sounds like he's doing a mix between regular plucking and slapping. And the other one is to hook your fingers and then pull the string and just release it so that it still gets that same slapping sound. It's a somewhat difficult concept to master, but it is a lot of fun. I am not too good a bass player. I'm still in the very beginning. I'm a guitar player. But you know, I've learned how to do slapping. It can be something insane. You can watch artists such as Charles Berthoud, Peter the Reina, Davey 504. These guys do that all the time. Very, very fun for genres such as funk to have that slapping. It just adds that extra level of depth to and timbre to it. Is just a little bit more aggressive. And then of course we had the bongos, the percussion there starting to add the rhythm, but most importantly the bass gave us our initial riff. A riff is the colloquial by the way means it's not an official academic term, but it is still used and understood. A riff is a way of doing a motif. It's a modern way of calling a motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed from which everything else sprouts from, right? So, a riff is just that, but in the sense of a guitar or a bass plays it. So, there is that. I heard that there was a guitar coming in. Let's back it up a couple of seconds to hear that transition. Let's continue. Funk. Okay, so now we have the guitar carrying over that riff that the bass did initially, but using the guitar techniques. Because guitars usually you play with guitar picks, so you don't get that same thing. How do I show the guitar pick here? Look at that. There's a guitar pick, right? Okay, so you have a guitar pick, and it's not really that feasible to slap with a guitar pick because you're holding it with two fingers, and that already takes away like 2/5 of the fingers you would need for slapping. The guitar strings are a lot smaller, a lot closer together, so it's a lot more difficult. So what guitars do is that they do muted strumming. Strumming is just when you strum all the strings, and you mute by just gently placing your fingers on the strings. And when you strum, it gives you that crunchy, muted sound that you get with the guitar. That way, extremely popular when it comes to funk, because it gives you that extra sense of you are still playing without having to play actual notes. It turns the guitar into a rhythmic instrument while keeping the melodic aspects of it. So let's continue. Oh my god, okay. And we move. I couldn't even drink without this happening. So we move on to having distortion guitars doing a variation of the initial riff, but down a couple of octaves in the lower register, and now in the more rock aspect of this. Feels more like a rock arrangement now than it does anything else. This is cool. And the drums now went. That right now was a tutti. That right now was a very short tutti. When ba 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 ba. That is a tutti. When all the instruments play the same thing at the same time. Of course, everyone with their own instrumentation. So the guitar, you know, strums the chords. The drum usually picks one of the drums. In this case, it was the snare, and we had the bass following along. It sounds like we have a pretty simple three-piece band: guitar, bass, and drums. Let's see where this goes. And we got the funky guitar back. I'm curious. Tutti means all in Italian, by the way. Oh, I like this. I like this. Okay, so now we're doing kind of a call and response. Call and response being the concept of one instrument or one part does one thing and another answers with something related similar immediately. In this case, we're doing the funky guitar is the call, the distorted guitar is the response, and the bass is just having fun. Oh, this is really fun. Oh, there we go. We got a synth. 4-piece band. So we got a synth now, 4-piece band. We got a keyboard player as well. Pretty standard for most rock bands out there. And now we have the synth playing an actual full-on melody, which still sounds similar enough to the initial riff and motif. So that is what is called motific development. Motific development. Which just means you take that initial idea and you start exploring variations of that idea, right? So, let's see. We have the, okay. Okay, so now we've fully transitioned from our first section to our second section. The keyboard now has more of the focus in front of it. I liked how that felt a lot more gradual. It ended up being very gradual, with the keyboards at first doing what is called a staccato, which was just short bursts here and there, kind of getting you the melody, but kind of in back, you know, a little bit quieter, not fully in the presence of everything. We transition, we finish the sequence, we jump fully into this section, and now the keyboard is the focus. The guitar has taken now the backseat. The bass is still doing their thing. One of the advantages of being a bass player is that you get a lot of freedom in that sense, that it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing. You get to do your own thing because you have basically an entire register for yourself, right? Because in the case of, say, the guitar, outside of genres like gent and metalcore, the guitars are going to have a fairly middle-of-the-road range of how low and how high their stuff can go. It can go pretty high up. Keyboard, you know, usually it's the entire range, but usually the keyboard will focus on being on the middle and higher range, usually for melodies, that kind of thing, which leaves the bass kind of the entire of the bass range. Makes sense, right? And the only other instrument that really has another competing area on it would be the drums. But the drums don't have pitch. At least they don't have the same type of pitch that a bass does. So yes, the bass drum might want to complement or go along with what the drums are doing, but you also have the freedom to do a lot of things. If you want to know more about how to complement basses a lot like that, Victor Wooten, let me write down his name because it's a very, very good name. Victor Wooten. Victor Wooten is a really, 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 really good bass player. He's one of the best in the world. And he basically came up with a bunch of ideas on how you can use your bass to truly complement other instruments rather than just keeping up the bass line, right? Because you can always have, you know, your pop song where you have the bass line, boom, bum, 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 bum. And then you can have the Victor Wooten, who is going to take that bass line and completely turn it upside down, turn it into cues for the guitar to jump into, to smoothen transitions between sections, all that kind of thing. Victor Wooten is absolutely the GOAT. I got to see several of his workshops live, because he goes to Berklee all the time, and I went to the Berklee College of Music. Really cool dude. I never got to speak to him, but the guy was just so chill, and even though I'm not a bass player, his lectures on it were incredible. I have one of his books too, so it's really, really, really good. Yeah, fade outs. Yeah, I don't like them, but you can request them. All right, let's continue. Corby, welcome to today. Also, another thing that is happening here that I just noticed. The keyboard holding those notes and keeping that so simple is doing what I like to call a flying melody. Flying melody, of course, colloquial term. This is not an official thing. This is what I like to call it. You're having the guitar chugging around. You have the bass slapping around. You have the drums going bongo, 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 bongo around. And up there you have the keyboard hanging around in its own registry, up above. Very simple melody, just soaring above the landscape of everything else. I love that concept. It's such a useful tool to have. Some of the most powerful examples that I can think of would be Moulin Rouge, Roxanne. The song Roxanne, the parts that... what's his name? Obi-Wan Kenobi. That Obi-Wan sings. Ewan McGregor sings, as well as Antonio Banderas' Mine is the Kingdom, from him playing the King Herod in Journey to Bethlehem. The movie, I haven't seen the movie, I've just seen that particular one, but the way they do it are some of the best examples of flying melodies. Because you want a very busy everything below, and then you have these flying melodies up above. Those are some of the most powerful examples I've seen in modern history, let's call it. Let's continue. Alright, transition again. Bass player going at it. Recapitulating that first section. Tutti again. Back to that first section. Fully back to A. So structurally speaking, we have done an intro. I really need to get a drawing tablet. An intro, then we went over to section A with the whole funky guitar, funky metal transition and everything. Then we went to section B. That's not a B. Section B, which was more focusing on the keyboard aspect of things. And now we are back to A. This could potentially be A prime. Prime just means there's like slight variations in between. Let's see where this goes. It's too early for me to call it a rondo, because it could just be a simple binary. We will see. Let's see. Nice chord. Yeah, same thing here. Funky guitar doing the riff. And the riff here, the motif, is doing pretty much the same thing. We are just repeating the same motifs over and over the same way. We're just doing these, we're repeating the same variations. We're doing recapitulation. This is not simple repetition. These are recapitulations of the variations we've already done. Because, you know, each time the riff is adapted to the different instrument that you have, right? We have ones for the bass, ones for the funk guitar, ones for the rock/metal guitar. And that's how we are developing this motif. I think the drums might actually have their own version of it. We'll see. Keyboard solo? Nope, still part of A. Still part of A. We did the same thing last time, yeah. A, B, A, B. A, B, A prime, B. Might just be A, B, A, B. Okay. We'll bring it back to the intro. Oh. Completely different. A, B, and now we are over in C. Some horns there. So yeah, you see how, again, the concept of you want to put everything, feel suspended up in the air, take away the drums. You can still keep the bass if you want, take away the drums, and it slows everything down, gives you that sense of you are now up in the air, suspended. Really fun stuff in that sense, and it gives you room to fully build something back up. Because again, as I keep saying, when you make music, you are doing essentially one of two things. You are building tension or you are resolving that tension. Moment in between is the cadence, of course, but if you have a little too much tension and you want to just bring it down, not all the way down, but bring it down, you just remove the drums, you put everything kind of on hold, you maybe put a half cadence in there so that things can still keep going in that. So right now we are in this C section, which is kind of like a bridge, more like a bridge, not so much a full-blown independent section. It's probably going to be so that we can connect back to the binary. Let's see. So yeah, we are having the riffs being repeated, and we are having this descending melody from the keyboard, this kind of, again, flying melody going over. But the cool thing is that this type of motif could be considered a psi motif, that, you know, it's a motif that is slowly going down, and it's giving you this sense of, okay, we took off, now we are trying to land kind of vibe. This is really cool. This is really good. This is really, I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Oh, completely separate, completely different. So we went now from A B to C to D. Damn, oh, it's different. Poise, welcome today. Yes, we do. So there you go. We're going, as it could be that we are going C, D, C, D, C, D now. We have about 1 minute. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, it's a completely... Ooh. With a guitar solo too, nice. Yeah, this is C again. We went back to C. And back to B. B. Interesting. And back to A. Not only back to A, we went back to the intro. So this is not A. This is the intro. Don't dare. Why you gotta fade it out, bro? Why you gotta fade it out? Come on. It loops. So if it loops, why did you fade it out? Like, I despise fade outs. Fade out jump scare. Yeah, I despise fade outs. Like, you can literally just have the guitar chugging, have it do one last chord, and that's it. And that's it. It can then loop back, but you can finish your music. Finish your music. This is not a... we are not talking about broccoli here. Finish your music. Just give it an ending. There you go. Do that. I despise fade outs. I consider them so lazy. Again, I understand why they exist a lot of the times. Because, again... this guy probably had like 20 other tracks to deal with. I just consider not having a fade out such a lazy thing to do. That's just my opinion. In the end, we had this very interesting... it still had an interesting structure to it, because we went into what was essentially 2 sets of a simple binary, and then we had... almost a palindromic approach to this whole thing. Because once we reached the D section, it started going backwards. And then we were about to hit A section, but instead we hit the intro, so it wasn't a full palindrome. But that was very interesting, because that was 2 simple binaries. A simple binary, followed by a second simple binary, followed by a mix of recapitulations from both binaries, followed by the outro. That is a very fascinating approach to structure. It worked. Plus the outro, which was a fade out, so I don't like it, but otherwise, this is a really fun track. It was a really fun track. I never thought of something like this. That's really cool. That's a really cool way of doing this. By the way, yeah, these are called binaries. Whenever you have a set of 2 sections, that's a binary. Section A, Section B, Section 1, Section 2. 2 binaries, right? So, you have that, and... yeah, that is very, very cool. That was very cool. I'm still... if it had pushed another 30 seconds or so, you could have snuck a section here and then ended with the intro-outro, and you would have had intro, simple palindrome, and then essentially a palindrome. Palindromes, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is a word thing. Stalker, welcome to today. How you doing? This is not a musical term. This is a verbal term for things or songs that are spelled the same way forwards as they are backwards. Most clear example, race car. The word race car is spelled the same forwards as it is backwards. So whenever I see a music palindrome, I consider it to be something that, structurally speaking, would be like intro, section A, section B, section C, section B, section A, and outro, which is a recap of the intro. The best example of a musical palindrome I've seen personally is the album Affinity by Haken. This is a full-on album, so the whole album is written this way, but the first song of the album is mirrored in the last song, and the middle point is a 15-minute song that is a full-on palindrome. It sets off the palindrome, and everything kind of becomes a mirror image of itself. It's a really, really cool album. I highly recommend it. It's one of the most digestible prog metal bands I've ever seen in my life. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, there you have it. That was Motorhead from Arc System Works by, what's his name? Daisuke Ishiwari from the BLAZBLUE Sound Complete Box Calamity Trigger game. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician, composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what has happened here musically. If you like this video and you're watching in the video archive, thank you for watching. Follow the channel, subscribe, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, subscription, notifications, all that good stuff. If you want to listen to this whole thing in full, I will be linking it down in the description of the video. And of course, if you want to request a song, you need to go to the Discord channel, the Discord server, link down below, and you need to join the LFA requests channel. Just drop the YouTube link of what you want me to check over there. I will review it, add it to the offline queue, And that's that. And if you want to watch this live on stream, since we record this live, links available to the Twitch and the Discord server are available down below. The schedule is on both Twitch and Discord, showing in your local time zone so that you don't have to calculate and bother with all that stuff. Also, don't forget to follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel, Games Are Basterd. Just go to the YouTube link, swap the @JamesRBasterd, the J for a G, and you get the thing. Listen to my music, all that good stuff. I don't know what else to plug here, so there you have it. That was Motorhead. Really, really good stuff. I enjoyed it. Good start for today for this, but yeah, let's move on.